Rejoice, everybody, for Doom is coming. Welcome to another 10-minute Marvel video. I'm Petter, and today I want to talk about kind of Marvel's plans for Doomsday, because I think there are some things that we could infer or maybe gather from it. If you listen to our last week's podcast episode, you kind of know where some of the start of this is coming from, because I talked about it a little bit there. We were talking about one main topic last week. We were talking about anchor beings. This idea that was introduced in Deadpool and Wolverine, that there's somebody in the universe that when they die, that universe starts to decay and eventually disappears. Now, this isn't purely like an incursion event, but it's a way that universes would blip out of the MCU. Ways that the universe could die. And we saw that Wolverine from a different universe could be plugged into a universe to save it. But what does that have to do with Doomsday? With the big announcement from San Diego Comic-Con with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday being the next Avengers movie we get before Avengers Secret Wars, how or what could potentially be happening here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Secret Wars first, which will make sense when I explain it in terms of Doomsday. Secret Wars, that storyline culminates basically with this battle world. In fact, the whole Secret Wars storyline is battle world. There's just a whole lot of multiverse stuff, of incursions and stuff like that leading into it. Doctor Strange is going off and doing his own thing. That's happening now. There's incursions that occur. The smartest minds in the world need to figure out how to stop them, but they can't. They can't. Eventually, all the universes go away. But that's not the end. The universes being destroyed through incursions doesn't mean that everything's over, because Doctor Doom has saved pieces of a lot of different universes, Marvel Zombies included, don't ask me why, but he has saved different elements of many universes and put them together in what's affectionately known as Battle World. And I think that's going to be the storyline of Doomsday. So I'm combining two things here as I talk about this. We have Battle World, the creation of Battle World, and we have the anchor beings. Because I think one of the ways that Doctor Doom is going to control everything is going to create battle worlds as universes disappear, as incursions and collisions happen, and the multiverse folds in on itself, or really shrinks in size, is going to be through the use of removal of the anchor beings. So Doom is going to be observing, going to be studying various worlds. We already know time travel exists in the MCU. So he'd be able to go time travel. He'd be able to go pull out the precise people he wants to help create his battle world, or to set it up. He's going to find the heroes and the villains and the people he thinks he can keep in line so that this can succeed. Because Doom, and with what was said at Comic-Con, which is new mask, same task, I think I've talked a little bit about it before in a video, but I'll cover it again here. The idea that Iron Man, Tony Stark, his task, his goal was to save Earth. That was what he always was doing stuff for. To protect the people of Earth, so that nobody had to die. And he gets that nice send-off in Avengers Endgame on that. Obviously, it's one of the big moments of the MCU, probably the biggest moment of the MCU. But Doom is taking a different way. Doom takes it almost in a way that's more Thanos-like, though Thanos' solution of snapping half the universe's population out is a short-sighted one. Obviously, you do that, it's going to take centuries for it to get back to the point where it was, but it will get back there eventually. It was a temporary solution to a problem. And sure, something like that could happen again, but it's a short-sighted plan. Doom, on the other hand, has a longer-sighted plan. He knows that incursions generally bad. It's probably better to pull people out of the universe and save those people that way and create these different factions and things on Battleworld, because the universe, the multiverse, is on a collision course. It is going to end. There's not going to be a multiverse anymore. And this comes from the comics too. So Valeria Richards, Reed and Sue's daughter, she was looking into the problem for her father. And she basically came up with the answer, there's no way to stop this. Like, the war is over. But in a war, it doesn't end when everybody's dead. There are survivors. There are people who live in the conquered, destroyed lands. So Valeria basically says, the war is over, but you just have to figure out how not to lose, how not to have everybody gone. How can you can't win the war. The war is already decided. But how do you make sure that you lose it or defeat it in the right way? It can't be a total loss. And I think that's going to be Doom's mindset as well. Doom will know that there is no winning this. But Doom can be the savior of large chunks of humanity and alien races out there by creating his own world. And where could he create his world? Well, at the end of time. And so I think Doomsday is going to be a lot of that. Him working on creating this world, him working on pulling out teams and beings and taking them to the void at the end of time. Which the Avengers aren't going to want to do, because whatever the Avengers team looks like, they're going to want to stop Doom, because Doom's saying, I can save 100 people from Earth. I can save 50 people from Earth. I can save 25 people. I'm going to pick and choose 10 people from Earth. Whatever it is, there's 7 billion people. Doom's saying, I can take 10. Even if Doom said I could take 1,000, that's barely anybody. And for the leaders, especially with Doctor Strange off-world, for the leaders of what the Avengers team is going to look like, so you're Sam Wilson, Captain America, you're Bucky, Winter Soldier, you're Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, if she's in there, Thor, who's gone through the events, and I mean, all of them have gone through the events of Endgame and Infinity War. And Spider-Man, for example, another character. There's a lot of different characters. None of them are going to want to accept that as an answer. So they're going to try and stop Doom. And that, I think, is what Doomsday is primarily going to be about. We're going to hear and maybe see some images and stuff like that of the other worlds that Doom has taken people off of, other universes that he's pulled people from. But the main focus is going to be on, can the Avengers stop Doom? And I don't think they're going to be able to. Like, that is going to be the story. And there's one last piece, one last little twist. If you know the Secret Wars storyline, you know that the Molecule Man is the one who basically powers Battleworld. I think in the MCU, probably the original plan would have been that Kang is kind of the Molecule Man, the one who can power Battleworld. Whether or not Kang ruled it at the Doom level or not, Kang was always going to be the one who kind of was the battery for it. And killing off Kangs probably would have happened in Kang Dynasty to eventually have one Kang at the top is going to be some of what was causing universes to be destroyed. Now that's changed. And you could say, well, you don't really need anybody to power Battleworld to keep it in existence. But I think you do. I think you need a character who has knowledge and control of the timelines. Not necessarily to purely work with Doctor Doom, but to be potentially controlled by Doctor Doom. To realize that the branches of the tree are getting pruned, and there's nothing, no matter how much the God of Stories, Loki, tries to control it all, it's not going to work. It's not going to be saved. And as an opportunity to save some of the people he cares about, some of the people who matter to him, like a Mobius, or a Sylvie, or an Obi, Loki is going to go along with this. Loki is going to say, I will power this. I can keep it going. And we may have this really interesting moment and reveal, possibly in Secret Wars, possibly in Avengers Doomsday, that Loki is working with Doom. But don't worry, all the good work that Loki has done, that's not going to be undone. And I think I wouldn't even be surprised if in Secret Wars, one of the factions, a group that is trying to take down Doom, could even be led by someone like Sylvie. But that's just kind of my theories, my thoughts on what Doomsday might be about, and kind of how it might lead into and play into Secret Wars, as well as some elements for Secret Wars as well. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this content, check out the other videos that we have done. You can find them all, of course, on the 10 Minute Marvel YouTube channel. We cover news, comics, Marvel trading card openings, all sorts of different Marvel-related content out there for you. As well as then we have a podcast, 10 Minute Marvel as well. You can find that wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from, including here on YouTube. If you go to our channel and click on that podcast tab, that's going to have all of them there. So if you enjoy this content, check out our other content, and please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. But with that, we'll see you next time.